I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The American flag, that grand old flag, it is our national pride and the symbol of freedom and liberty. Our flag has also become a symbol of freedom and liberty around the world, not because we conquer, but because we liberate those in bondage. Our National Pledge of Allegiance states that we are a republic and not a democracy, and that we are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, which is it? Democracy or republic? Is there a difference? I hear people all the time refer to our country as a democracy. The Founding Fathers were very specific as to what kind of government was to be implemented. This is not only spelled out in our Constitution, but also in the rule of law, and was locked down so that the process would require the people's involvement. This is why our Constitution has been classed as rigid. The term rigid is used in opposition to flexible or a living document, because the provisions are in a written document which cannot legally be changed with the same ease and in the same manner as ordinary laws. The British Constitution, which is unwritten, can, on the other hand, be changed overnight by an act of Parliament. Recently I heard a U.S. congressman say on TV, "We are a representative democracy." Our President, Barack Obama, refers to our country as democracy over and over. Does the President of the United States not know what kind of government we have? Did he not teach constitutional law? Or is this part of a planned attempt to convince the American people that the Constitution and the rule of law are majority rule? The mainstream media constantly refers to our country as a democracy instead of a republic. Even those that do not agree with the left make the same mistake at times. I have never heard our President or any other left-thinking member of Congress, Supreme Court, or the mainstream media refer to our country as anything else. Where did we get this concept from? To understand this concept, we have to go back over 230 years to the beginning. We went from Britain's grand flag to freedom and the very first flag of the United States in 1776. This flag was made as a result of the Declaration of Independence written by our Founding Fathers. To better understand this, we must understand the definition of each form of government. So many times we have several different definitions and understanding of words by listening to different positions. This is what gets us in trouble most of the time. Democracy, government by the people, especially rule of the majority or majority rule. Republic, a government in which supreme power resides in a body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by elected officials and representatives responsible to the people and governing according to the law. Almost all the majority of the founders involved in the formation of America called democracy despotism. The thesaurus says despotism is tyranny, dictatorships, absolutism, repression, and democracy. In 1776, 56 men signed their death warrants in the Declaration of Independence. Because of time constraints here, we will only deal with the beginning and ending paragraphs. In Congress, July 4, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Attorney and author Cary L. Morgan writes in his in-depth study of the laws of nature and nature's God in his chapter, The Link to English Common Law. The supremacy of God's law was generally recognized in the English common law. Sir William Blackstone, the preeminent English legal authority, widely followed by the American founders, recognized the binding legal nature of the law of nature as understood in its basic principles. Blackstone maintained that English law, and therefore American law, had its roots in the laws of God. Therefore, constitutional interpretation is a matter of law, not politics, governed by ends and not means. All three branches of the government, all the way down to the local governments, are under the rule of law, which is under the Constitution. This is the absolute law of the land. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Our Declaration of Independence very clearly acknowledges our Creator God as the source of unalienable rights, and that governments are formed to secure this. This acknowledgment was then and is today the very foundation of the Constitution of the United States of America. What are those unalienable rights which we are endowed with? Sir William Blackstone wrote in 1766, "These may be reduced to three principal articles. First, the right of personal security, our personal lives. Second, the right of personal liberty. Third, the right of personal property rights." The Constitution of America was written to protect and secure our God-given individual rights to life, liberty, and property from our Creator, not from the government. We must never allow this basic foundation to be eroded or changed, or lose faith that these rights are a gift directly from God to each individual. If we do, we then lose the basis of the greatness of the miracle of Philadelphia and the founding of America. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states. Our founders knew where and who to look for the greatest source of help anywhere. They knew that the name the Supreme Judge of the world and the name Providence was Almighty God, our Creator. In the last sentence of the last paragraph of the Declaration, the last two words are their sacred honor. They not only pledged their lives and their fortunes, but most important and valuable was their sacred honor. They were a people that valued a man's word above all and lived by this principle. There are many today that claim that God is not even mentioned in the Declaration of Independence. As shown, this great document is our charter document and our link and bridge to English law and our Constitution. We are all quick to claim our rights under the Constitution, but where do these rights come from? The very reason the founders made our government a constitutional republic was that they knew, as stated, that a democracy was despotism or tyranny, unless we were a republic under God. The most famous text in the Declaration of Independence was that all men were created equal. This famous clause was the turning point in America's attitudes toward slavery. Unfortunately, it almost destroyed the Constitution, and it almost destroyed America's future. Read and study the factual history yourself, not the revisionist history that's taught to your children in schools. Teach your children, your families, and others that this great republic was founded, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America.